like videos. I was like, I'm kind of taking a break from my like normal content, and I was like, what do I want to do? And I was like, I was planning on doing a video where I talk about my current favorite new makeup product, well, my current favorite like makeup products. And I was like, well, I already did a video like that, like for 2023. And I was like, I feel like that doing that video would have been too recent. So I was like, what can I do? And I was like, I saw a video under that makeup, like favorite makeup video thing, talking about like, oh, talk about do more like top fives and top tens of things. And I was like, why not I do that? And I was like, what can I do? And just what kind of topics can I talk about? And I was like, what is the one thing that I really like to do? And that is eat. So I was like, what can I talk about? Because I can't really talk about my like top 5 or top 10 favorite foods, even though like I can. But I was like, I want to kind of narrow it down. So I was like, why not do my top 5 restaurants? But I was like, I want to narrow it down a little bit further. And I was like, why not do my top 5 sit-down restaurants? So I am not going to talk about like fast food restaurants because a lot of them have sit-down, like a lot of them you can sit down at. But I was like, I want to do strictly sit-down restaurants that I can like sit down, order from like a menu, and there's a waiter and different things like that. So yeah, so I have right here in my little Sailor Moon notebook my top 5 favorite restaurants. A couple of them are restaurants that are really close to where I am, and I really like going to them whenever I have a chance. Some of these are places that I haven't been to in a while, but I would like really love to go back and eat them, but they're like some of my favorites. And actually one of these restaurants is a restaurant that is not available in the state of California anymore. And that is actually the first restaurant I'm going to be talking about. So none of these restaurants are in any particular order. These are just like my 5 favorite restaurants that I've ever been to or like loved. And the first restaurant that I want to talk about is Uno Chicago Pizzeria and Bar and Grill. So for anyone that is not familiar with the restaurant Uno, Uno is your standard bar and grill, but also serves pizza. They are like a pizzeria type place, and when I say they had some of my favorite restaurant pizza of all time, it was so good. It was like the dough was like, it wasn't too crispy, but it was so soft and stuff, and the pizza was like, I had enough where I could eat, and I had a little bit of leftovers for the next time, and I loved it. I have so many amazing memories of eating at that restaurant. Their food was amazing. Their dessert was great. I always loved getting their salad and their croutons, and their ranch was so good. I loved it so much, and I miss it so much because like when I looked it up when it was closed, and I was like, oh, maybe there's like another one, like maybe like out of town and stuff like that. No, this was probably one of the only places on the West Coast that you can go to Uno. All of the other places are on the East Coast or like a Midwestern area like Illinois and like Ohio and things like that. And I was like, sorry. It was just like, why can I not enjoy this amazing food? And I was so upset. And they replaced it with this terrible restaurant, in my opinion. Well, it's like my parents liked it, but it was just like, it was just a terrible replacement for a restaurant, in my opinion. So I remember when the restaurant opened. I'm not gonna give the name of the restaurant because even though if you like look up Uno, like where it used to be, like I don't know if you'll know where it is, but like there was this restaurant that opened up, and they were advertising like, oh, our pizza is just like Uno Pizza. And Uno's Pizza being like, oh, don't worry guys, we are keeping Uno's Pizza, and I know you guys are gonna love it. And so me and my parents, I was like, I want to try it. I want to see if this place will replace Uno. And it did not. So let me start off with the fact that I am not a pizza snob. I just like pizza. What I don't like is just like a place lying about how good their like food is. So I went there and I tried the pizza and it was not good. First off, like the crust was not great, but I feel like the worst offender was the sauce that went with the pizza. And like the I'll talk about the pepperonis were not great either. They were like very like those big pepperonis that kind of taste more like ham than like pepperoni, but they were actually pepperonis. So I want to paint a picture of this tomato sauce. Do you guys remember the show Oobi? That like show with like all the people are like hands, like hand puppets. So there was an episode where they made pizza for the first time, and to make the sauce, they're like, oh, let's make it instead of using jarred tomato sauce, we use regular tomato, like make it fresh. But the way they made tomato sauce is basically they just put the flattened out dough. They took tomatoes and just smashed it onto the pizza. Just smashed raw tomato onto the pizza. And that's what that pizza sauce reminded me of. It had like a huge piece of just tomato skin on it. It wasn't just like a piece of tomato, it was a huge piece of just tomato skin. It was just a whole bunch of just like tomato. Like, I am not that person. Like, I like, especially as an autistic person, I hate random textures. And when I bit into that random big huge piece of tomato skin, I was just like, this place is off my list. Like, if I had enough places that I disliked, that place would be on the list of disliked restaurants. But I'm like a picky eater, but I'm like, I don't go to places that I don't like. But yeah, so, and my sister got like salmon because she loves salmon. It was like a wood cooked salmon, and she said it tasted like burnt wood. Which, like, yeah, it's not a wood fire, it just tasted like wood. But yeah, so that's why I love Uno, because they had amazing pizza, and it was so amazing, and I loved it so much, and it was one of my favorite restaurants that I would always love to go to on a Friday night. But now it's gone, so that's great. Alright, now I want to talk about the restaurants that in my top 5 that are places that I haven't been to in a long time, but I always love them, and they became part of my top 5. So the first one to talk about is Joe's Crab Shack. Even though I don't eat seafood, I love Joe's Crab Shack. One, like, I know a good place is when they have good ranch, and they had really good ranch, and I always love getting their salad, and their croutons really amazing. They're just like basic American ranch salad. It's like one of my favorite salads of all time. It was so good. It was awesome. And like, I loved it so much. And I would always get their chicken, even though I know it's like, oh, someone getting chicken tenders at a seafood place. I don't care. I'll say it. I'll get chicken tenders at a seafood place if they're good. And these chicken tenders were good. So, but then they added these new appetizer called the Voodoo Chicken Bites, where basically it was just Cajun chicken tenders. And they were so good. It was delicious, and I was so upset when they got rid of the San Francisco location, but there's still one in Sacramento. So I love Joe's Crab Shack. It is delicious. I love it so much, and I always like just really want to have Joe's Crab Shack just for the chicken tenders, even though my parents are like, we can make something better at home, because they love seafood boils, but they say they can make better seafood boils at home. Well, yes, they can, because when it was like COVID, they made their own like food. It was like, oh, it's better than like restaurant food. But I just miss Joe's Crab Shack's chicken tenders, and they were so good, and I miss them so much. But yeah, so I have a lot of fun memories of Joe's Crab Shack. I remember like going there for the first time getting the chicken tenders, my mom like kind of scaring me with her playing around with like a lobster tail because she was able to like make the tail move because she found like a tendon in the lobster tail. And it was like so funny. And I remember my sister got like shrimp and she had just like a whole bunch of shrimp and stuff like that. And I remember just like sitting on my phone and watching YouTube videos at Joe's Crab Shack, and it was just like, oh my god, it was like memories I can't get back, and I miss it so much. Alright, next one is like the Cheesecake Factory. Oh my god, the Cheesecake Factory, I miss it so much. Like, living in SoCal, there were a few things. Well, I loved living in SoCal, but there are like a few things that made me love it so much, and it was like the malls, all the fun experiences, and Cheesecake Factory. And I loved the Cheesecake Factory so much. Their pizza was great. The only thing that I don't like about Cheesecake Factory is their ranch. Their ranch is horrid. I don't know what they put in that ranch, but that ranch is disgusting. But I think I just love the experiences that I've had. Like, I remember going to Cheesecake Factory with my parents and my family for the first time. And, like, I got, like, a cheesecake from there. It was, like, the Godiva, like, chocolate cheesecake. And I remember, like, being like, I'm gonna eat my cheesecake crying in my bedroom because, like, it was, like, my family was, like, visiting me. And, like, I was just, like, and I have, like, a lot of memories about, like, the Cheesecake Factory, and, I, like, love it so much. I think my favorite thing is their pizza. Like, I do really like their pizza. I also had, like, I think their, like, crispy chicken sandwich, which was really good. Like, I also remember, like, doing it for, like, my birthday with some friends, and it was a whole lot of fun. And I do really like, I think, like, a good, like, to make a restaurant in my top 5 is that if I have good memories of it. And one of my, like, favorite memories is just sitting around the table talking to my friends that I made in SoCal. And I was just, like talking to them about, like, things that are going on. I was just like, oh my god, this place really just did great memories for me, and I'm really, really happy I got to go to Cheesecake Factory. Even though a lot of people are like, girl, it's Cheesecake Factory. I was like, it gives me memories. Alright, now let's talk about the final two restaurants that are really close to me, that I love to go to every time I have the chance to. And so this one is going to be Chili's. So, Chili's is, I think, hands down, one of my favorite sit-down restaurants. Even though I know this is not like a tier list, being like, oh, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Chili, if it was like that, Chili's would be my favorite one. Chili's just has everything that I love. I love the chips in, like the chips and salsa, delicious. I also had their skillet queso, which is divine. It's so delicious. Their chicken crispers are amazing. Like, the one thing that I don't like about Chili's is that they always mess around with their menu. Like, when a while back they used to not do that, but now they keep, like, messing around with their menu. But I love their chicken crispers. I actually had their, I think, Nashville hot chicken tenders, which were really good. But the ones that I had before were like the crispy ones, or like the honey chipotle ones, which were also really good. But I'm also upset that they got rid of the corn on the cob with the crisper meal. But my favorite thing to get is the 3 for Me with the dip trio and with the skillet queso, and it's like one of my favorite things of all time, and I love it so much. And I feel like Chili's is like pretty inexpensive for what you get. Like, you can get a 3 for Me, and you can get like the chicken tenders, a drink, and like a side. And I always like love it's like $13.99 for the whole thing, and it's just like, I pay so much more for like less at other restaurants like Applebee's and different things like that. But yeah, I love Chili's so much. It's like one of my favorite restaurants of all time, and I like, I remember a funny memory was that I had a waitress that gave us so many chips. We had like 2 huge bagfuls of chips and 2 like huge containers of salsa left over. And I remember my mom was like, oh, I like, this is like the worst time because like they're giving me so many chips because we're going to go on a like trip to Hawaii soon. Like a couple of weeks after that, like a week or 2 after that, and I was just like, oh my god, like I need to go on the diet of like chips and stuff. But I'm like, I'm enjoying it. But yeah, I love Chili's, and every single time that I have a chance to go to it, I want it. Or I always get jealous when my parents go like to Chili's for like a lunch date or something. And I'm like, I want to go to Chili's, but I love it, even though it's like on special occasions. Alright, my final one, and it is a good one. It is Sisler. So I know Sisler isn't around in a lot of places now, but Sisler is still close by to me. Well, close by, like within reason. Like, I don't know what people like mean by close by, but like for me, it's like close by, and I love it. I love Sisler because like it has it's one of the only places that have like a salad bar left. Like, only another restaurant that I know of is like this old like restaurant that like hasn't been updated since like the 90s. It's like, I love a salad bar. I like hometown buffet, any kind of buffet. I love making just like a giant salad. It's like amazing. And their cheese toast, like I actually tried making my own cheese toast, like Sisler cheese toast before, and it was not good. It smelled and tasted terrible, and I was just like, I want the cheese toast so bad. And I was just like, how can I get this cheese toast like served to me like every day? Like, their cheese toast is like one of my, like, I don't hear a lot of people talking about Sisler's cheese toast and like the best free bread you can get. And like, I always like this is like one of the only places left that I get a steak from. Like, I used to always like get like steak or something, but now that I don't eat a lot of red meat, I don't get steaks that often. And that's the only place that I get steaks. I think it's just because I don't really like anything else. Maybe I'll have the burger or something like that, but I don't like just like a burger. I can just get like a steak, because also I love getting the baked potato. They're one of the only other places that you can get a baked potato. And like, except for maybe like John's Incredible Pizza. But yeah, so this is so good. I think just the reason why it's in my top 5 restaurants is just because of that cheese toast. Like, everything else is still really good, but that cheese toast is like something I'll remember in my dreams forever. But yeah, so that is it for this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and follow both my makeup and ASMR Instagram. Definitely do. And let me know, what are your guys' favorite restaurants, like sit down ones. And maybe I'll do a fast food restaurant video in the future. Like, give me some other topics, like top 5s and top 10s that I could do, and I'll probably do them in the future. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a nice and safe day. Bye.